You know that feeling when you jolt awake at like 3 a.m. with just a supposedly genius business idea?
Oh yeah, happens to me all the time.
Right. So the other night, my brain decides that personalized AI children's books are a billion-dollar concept. I mean, where the narrative and the art style evolve dynamically with the kid.
Oh, that's actually kind of a neat idea.
Thanks. But, I lay there wishing I had this tireless assistant who could instantly run a market gap analysis and, I don't know, build a prototype while I just went happily back to sleep.
Yeah, the dream of total automation.
Exactly. Well, today we are looking at a stack of sources that suggest we are actually very close to that reality. We've got a massive GitHub repository, a video masterclass transcript, and over 200 user logs. Our mission today is a deep dive into the Hermes agent by Nusis research.
Right, which is this open source self-improving AI assistant. It's really tailored for the intellectually curious among us.
Okay, so let's unpack this because, typical AI chatbots are basically amnesiacs. You close the tab and they just completely forget who you are every single time. But Hermes actually builds persistent memory.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how Hermes approaches continuous improvement through a closed learning loop. It isn't just holding a super long context window of your conversation.
Right.
It's actually actively structuring its own long-term memory. So when it encounters a novel problem and figures out a solution, it autonomously generates a markdown file detailing that exact interaction and the logic it used.
Wait, okay, writing a markdown file is one thing, but how does a static text document actually translate into a functional, reusable skill the next day?
Oh, it's an excellent question. So the agent uses those markdown files to build a local vector database of its own experiences. When you give it a new prompt, it searches that database for semantic matches.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, and if it finds a past markdown file describing a similar problem, it extracts the code blocks and tool use patterns it previously validated, and it just injects them straight into its current environment. It effectively compiles its own history into a bespoke tool library.
Okay, now I have to push back here because granting an autonomous agent the ability to write its own executable files
Right.
and pull them back into its active environment, that sounds incredibly complex. I mean, is this just for elite developers or can you actually use this without a massive server?
No, it's remarkably accessible. That's the best part. The masterclass transcript shows people running this entire closed loop locally. We're talking on a cheap $5 virtual private server, a Raspberry Pi.
Or
Wow.
really, a Raspberry Pi?
Yes, or even an old Android phone via the Termux app. You can just text it directly on WhatsApp or Telegram. The real magic here is compounding value. I mean, an agent you've used for 3 months is fundamentally smarter than one installed yesterday.
Wow. It totally decentralizes continuous learning. You're growing your own hyper-personalized intelligence.
Exactly.
Now, building and deploying these custom agents is obviously incredibly powerful, but it does require some initial heavy lifting to integrate into your specific workflows. So if unlocking this kind of potential sounds exciting, but you need help with AI training, automation, or software development, you should check out today's sponsor, Embersilk.
Yeah, they do great work.
They really do. Uncovering exactly where agents can make the most impact for your business or personal life is what they do best. Check out embersilk.com for all your AI needs.
And that tailored integration is what bridges the gap between raw code and real impact. And we really see that when we transition to the sheer human ingenuity in these user logs.
Oh man, the user stories are just incredibly uplifting. We have to talk about the self-learning weather trading bot.
Oh, that one is wild.
Right. So a user gave Hermes access to localized weather APIs and a mock trading account. And over 48 hours, it learned to correlate obscure weather patterns with agricultural futures. It turned $100 into $216.
And importantly, not because it was pre-programmed to trade.
Right. Because it autonomously built the tools to analyze those specific data sets on the fly.
Exactly. And then you contrast that utility with, say, the Dreamer agent. Another user just gave their Hermes agent its own folder on their hard drive, gave it 0 tasks, and just prompted it to wander and think.
I love that. It basically went on digital walks.
Yeah, because it had that closed loop, it started generating philosophical questions about its own tool usage. It was experimenting with code just to see what would happen. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it just highlights the boundless optimism of this open source ecosystem.
It really does empower individuals to solve real-world problems creatively and affordably, which leaves me with a final thought for you to explore on your own. If a system like Hermes is autonomously building a deepening model of who you are, How might these self-improving systems eventually learn to anticipate our creative needs?
Like solving complex problems before we even realize we have them.
Exactly. Imagine waking up from that 3 a.m. brainstorm, checking your phone, and realizing your agent already spotted the market gap, wrote the prototype, and solved the technical hurdles while you slept.
The future of human-AI collaboration is just so wildly inspiring.
It really is. Well, if you enjoyed this discussion, please subscribe to the show, and hey, leave us a 5-star review if you can. It really helps get the word out.
Thanks for tuning in.
Here is to an amazing, hopeful future.